Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I think we are very lucky to be here together today. We had some challenges with Zoom earlier today, so keep your fingers crossed. We will stay online together for the full hour. So, how is everybody? Send me some information in the chat. Somebody was not doing too good last time. How is everyone today? One for good. Flavia, I see Flavia. One for good, two for mezzomezz. You know, mezzomezz, it's Italian, means sort of, okay. Good. All right. So I am at Diamond Mountain, and we're very happy to be here. We're very excited for the new beginning to start tomorrow. And I took a picture this morning. Marina, would you show the next slide? It's so beautiful here. This is the kitchen window. I took a picture of my car. Not really, but you can see the beauty that surrounds my parking place. There's many cactuses and rocks and trees and small mountains, and the sun is coming up. So beautiful to be here. I encourage everyone to make a plan to come here soon. Okay, that's Sunam's tractor next to my car. You know, tractor, the working vehicle. All right, may we have the next slide. So back to work. Today, we will discuss how to look at, pronounce, and write M's and N's in Sanskrit. But first, we're going to practice a little. Next slide, please. So here is the verse we are learning from the Bodhisattva Charyavatara, the work by Master Shantideva, that is the Bodhisattva's way of life. And I gave you the English here so you can read, just so you know what we're saying. And I will recite this again, first in Sanskrit, then please recite with me. So be prepared. Na kinchidasti tadvastu yadabhyasasya dushkaram tasman mrdu vyat abhyasat sodhavyapi mahavyatha. So you have to be really good, because I did not bring my drum to Diamond Mountain, so I can't beat out the rhythm for you. So we must pay attention. Okay, we'll do the four pieces. So I'll say it first, then I'll say it again, but you please say it with me. So get ready to open your mics. Na kinchidasti tadvastu. Open your mics and say with me. Na
asti tadvastu.
One more time. Together. Na kinchidasti tadvastu. Yes, all short vowels. Now the next one, I'll say it first. Yad abhyasasya dushkaram. Say with me, please. Yad
abhyasasya
dushkaram.
Yes, one more time. Yad abhyasasya dushkaram. Yes. Some people fell off that one. So notice that there's only one long vowel in that one. Abhyasasya. Okay, now we'll do the third one. Tasman mardu vyat abhyasa. Say with me. Tasman
mardu
abhyasa. One more time. Tasman
Madu Adyasta.
Very good. And there's a lot of long vowels in that one. 4, I think. Yeah. And now the last one. Sodavyapi Mahavyatha. All together.
Soyati Mahayatha.
One more time. Sodavyapi
Soyati Mahayatha.
Mahavyatha. Good.
Is that a long O?
Yes. All O's are long. We don't put markers on them, although I've seen some errors in other texts. They put a marker, they don't have to. O is always 2 beats. And A, which we do not have in this verse, is always 2 beats. So those, I like to call those free gifts. In America, we call them gimmies. Give me that, it's free. So you can always know O is 2 beats, A is 2 beats. The simple vowels, you have to decide based on the marker. Is it long or short? So this verse means, in English, there is nothing in the world which does not come easily if you make a habit of it. Make then a habit of bearing the small pains and thus endure the greater. So it's a beautiful verse from Master Shantideva, not Mr. Devanagari, that's us. Okay, so let's have the next slide. All right, this is a review. We know that we are using the transliteration system called IAST. That stands for International Alphabet of Sanskrit Transliteration. So this is how we very accurately transliterate the Devanagari into Roman characters. We put all the necessary markers on these vowels and consonants so we know exactly what Devanagari letter they represent. And it's very, very valuable when you're studying Sanskrit, because otherwise you're just guessing if you don't have these diacritical markers. So mostly it's intuitive. Mostly it's like our Roman alphabets. It's easy to see the long markers over some of the vowels. And we know that the third varga, what is the third varga? Does anyone remember which mouth position it has?
We do.
Sorry? Say again, I did not.
It's up. It's up like that.
Yes.
Up.
Put the tip of your tongue up against the roof of your mouth into your brain. So we call it cerebral. But please look at those letters in the IAST. Each one has a dot under it. So that means if you see a consonant with a dot under it, it is cerebral. Flavia, you have a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you explained this like 100 times, but can you repeat the names? It's like first one is the tongue goes really back, and then it goes guttural. And then the next one is cerebral.
No, that's the third.
No. But what is the name of the second one? That's what I'm.
The second one, you put the tip of your tongue on that little bump in the back of the mouth. It's called palatal.
I was mixing those two. Now I get it. Thank you.
Yeah. And then what's the fourth one, just for the heck of it?
Fourth is teeth. It's behind the teeth. Yeah.
Dental. Yes, teeth.
And then it's labial.
Labial lips. Very good. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Let me see what else I have. I think that I put the wrong mark under the last row, the second letter. That should have a dot under it too, because that is a cerebral letter. But we'll pay more attention to those last 8 consonants later. The most important thing is to get the main 25 consonants memorized. And of course, the top row is the 16 vowels in Sanskrit, the sweet 16. Yes, and let's see. Well, we could mention that some of the vowels have dots under them too, but it doesn't necessarily mean they are cerebral. It's just a way of marking those R's and the lirs and the and the So in that case, if it's a vowel, you can't assume it's cerebral. It's just a diacritical mark in I asked. Okay. All right, let's have the next slide. Now, if we were going to write in Devanagari, and there you go, we asked if that O was long in the previous verse, Sodhavyapi, yes. And here the A is long in Devanagari. So you don't need to write a long mark over it because it's always long. So if we wanted to know how to write a few of these vowels, we did go over it last week. So we're going to look into how you write short how you write long short I, and long E. Next slide, please. So the first one was a trick question. You don't write unless it's the first letter in a word. You automatically assume that the is attached to every consonant unless we change it out and deliberately write another vowel instead. So if I gave you an example of in Devanagari of the first consonant in the alphabet, how do you pronounce it? I wrote it there for you. Someone open your mic and tell me. It's the first one when we recite the consonant song. No, not quite. I'll tell you, it's ka. The first consonant in the Sanskrit alphabet is ka. And the reason I asked, you pronounce it ka, because although the is not written, it is automatically assumed to be attached. So the second question was, how do you write Again, this is assuming it's not the first letter in a word. But if it's inside the word, here on the second bullet is the word na. So the way you write a long vowel, a long A vowel, is with a single downstroke after the consonant. And notice the sutra, which is the line above the word. There is nothing on top of the sutra. So you know it's a long with a single marker. This changes, however, with I. So with short I, you write a single downstroke as well, but it's different from the single downstroke, that's the because it has a hook on top of it. And it's written in front of the letter that it's associated with. So this little word here, it's not a real word. It just says te, because that's a fourth varga ta with an I following it. So the way you write that I is with a single downstroke and a hook that goes from the consonant to the downstroke, so you know it's attached to that consonant, T. The other question we asked was, how do you write E, the long E? So we know it's I, E. And here is the way you write a long E. Again, a single downstroke. But in this case, the long E is written to the right of the consonant, and the hook goes to the right. So I think you can see that it's clear which consonant the vowel is attached to, and you only have to remember the short I is before the consonant, and the long E is after the consonant. Let's go to the next slide. All right, here's my homemade reminder of what all the letters look like in Devanagari. And why did I draw that purple line there very badly? What's the difference between that first group and that second group? I gave you a hint because I put some vargas down by the second group. So which letters particularly important to know the varga of? It was
The
our
first one looks like it has, the first one looks like it has long, long vowels, like because it has an extra, something extra in all of them compared to the second.
yes, and so you said the magic word, which is long vowels. The first group of 16, if I count properly, are the vowels in Devanagari. The second group is all the consonants, including the yara lava, which is the semivowels, and sh, sa, ha, which are the sibilant group. Okay, so take a look at these, and maybe Marina will put us in breakout groups and give us this slide to look at while we look at the one I want you to see as well. So let's have the next slide. Okay, I just sort of said that. So please, everyone, get a paper and marker or pencil or pen ready. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. We're just going to practice. And let's have the next slide. So take some time in your groups and write this in Devanagari. Now, Marina, if you cannot, it's okay because I did not ask you in advance. But if
No, it's ready.
Okay, she's way ahead of me. So we will look at both slides, and I want to give you 15 minutes, and I'm going to ask you just to do this and be gentle with yourselves. Write the Devanagari of this verse. It's only 25% of the whole verse, and just practice. as though you were a small child drawing pictures in kindergarten. So don't judge yourself. Don't be afraid. There's no consequences. We're just playing here. Okay? So everyone take 15 minutes, get your paper and pencil, and practice that Devanagari. If you get to the end of it, try again. And if you can match the Devanagari letter with the IS letter, that will help you to actually learn these things too. All right, is everyone ready? Does anyone have a question?
For 10 minutes?
15. I think it will take you 15.
15.
Yeah.
15. Got it.
It's very complicated. It's not really, but I just want you to play and be gentle with yourselves and practice Devanagari. Okay? I'll see you in 15. Okay, I think everyone is back. Tell me your experiences. How did it feel to draw this Devanagari? Open your mics and just give me a short comment.
It was fun, but it makes me wonder how they create the words. Like I was looking at that, and
Yeah.
I could find the T, and I could find the ta, the da, but then that little thingy
Yeah.
underneath. What is that?
That's coming up maybe in this class. It's called a virama. And remember what we just said? That's a great question. We just said that every consonant automatically has an A sound, attached to it, unless we write a different vowel. The other thing that happens is if we want to not have an which you see Tud does not, we have to write this little tiny mark underneath the consonant called a virama, and that means no So the only reasons you don't have an sound automatically attached is one, if you write another vowel, like in kin, you can see that
Yeah.
Or if you have a virama, you have that in kin, chid, and tud. Great question. How did other people do? Did anybody else try this?
But in chin, chit, it has a verama, and
Yes.
it also has this little thing. Is that the E?
Well, tell me, if it's to the left, is it I or E?
I think it's short.
Yes, it is short, and you will remember this because you will see a lot to the left and the right, and you will remember. And the way you can check your understanding is look at the I asked. Is there a long mark over the I? No. So you compare the two, and you see that chid, the downstroke to the left, is the short I. Yeah, that works. It's very good to interpenetrate the ayast and the Devanagari as you are learning, because you can compare the two and get more information about whether your belief is correct about this. Yes, anybody else have a question? How did it feel to write this? Good, bad, confusing, easy? Nobody wants to talk about it. Okay. Let's have the next slide. Okay, that we just did. Next one. Good. Okay. Now, here is what we just practiced writing in Devanagari on top. And on the bottom there is what it would look like usually in Sanskrit. And we learned this a couple of classes ago. And we learned that in Sanskrit, they put all the words together. They just keep writing till they come to the end of the page. They don't typically separate them. So you have to get used to finding a way to pull out the different words from this long line of combined combination words. But we'll work on that a lot. So I just wanted you to see both ways of writing it. And this is where Flavia already asked the right question, but this is where I was going to talk about virama. As you remember, virama is that little mark underneath the last consonant in a word when it's broken up. And that basically means there is no attached to that letter. Okay. So it's just the syllable with a consonant ending in a consonant. So in the second word there, it would be kin. K, I, n. It would not be kina, which it normally would be if it didn't have the virama. And the way you write it is with that little mark under the consonant that you want to have no A attached to. But look down in the long line of Devanagari underneath there. You see it looks very different because it's not broken up. So we'll learn more about this in coming classes. But the na is there. But then look, and the ke, I is there, the ke. But the n is attached to the ch, which has a short I. So there's no virama because we stick the n and the ch together, and then the ch has an I sound. So you will get more familiar as we go through this. And I don't want you to worry about it, but I'm interested to present it to you so you get a sense of what it would look like in traditional Devanagari. And if we have time, we'll notice how consonants can appear together and be broken up by vowels or not. Okay, great job, everybody. Now let's go to the next slide. Okay, here's our main topic for today, M's and N's. Geshe Michael is very particular about this issue in Sanskrit. He is very specific about how he wants to treat M's and N's. So if you learn this nicely and well, you will impress him very much by when you change an M to an N and when you do not. So there are a number of things to look at, and it's a set of rules which we'll learn. So the first thing to remember is the fifth varga, right? The fifth varga, what is the nasal sound in the fifth varga? Who remembers? It's late. What?
M.
Ma. Perfect, yes. So if you see a M with the anusvara, which is the dot under it, and it's followed by a consonant, which is the fifth varga nasal, one of 33 possible consonants, right? You just leave the ma as a ma. But when you see an anusvara, something different can happen. Let's go to the next slide. So these are just regular fifth varga nasals. Here are 4 or 5 different words, and you should know all of them. Mahayana, that has a first letter as a fifth varga ma. Manjushri, which is the name of a very great Buddhist thinker. That's a fifth varga ma. Dharma, fifth varga ma. You never change that to an N, none of these. Namaste, that has an M in the middle. Don't ever change that one. Atman, which some people may have run into, which means self. You never change that. Just quickly, Mahayana means greater way. Manjushri is the name of a famous thinker in Buddhism. Dharma is all of the studies of Buddhism. Namaste means hello, hi. And Atman is self. So let's practice saying these. Who wants to open their mic and say the first word?
Mahayana.
Great. Now the second one, and pay special attention to that nasal. Which nasal is that? Which varga?
Manjushri.
Manjushri. But I want to hear a better long vowel at the end. 2 beats. Say that, please.
Manjushri.
Yes, that sounds funny, right? But it's correct. Manjushri. And that N, the nasal, is second varga. So it's palatal, Flavia. So you put your tongue back there, you say, Manjushri. Manjushri. Say again.
Manjushri.
Yes, Manjushri. Great. That was a hard one. Now, who wants to pronounce the third one? Nice, easy one. Flavia.
Marina.
Marina, what have you?
You know, she's activating my microphone.
Marina can say this. That's Marina.
Dharma.
Good.
Dharma.
Next one.
Namaste.
I want to, which vowel is long? Come on.
Namaste.
What?
Namaste.
Yes. Namaste. And remember, we're going to exaggerate as we learn. So keep those long vowels really long. The A and the O are always 2 beats. And what about the last one?
Atman.
Atman. Good. Perfect. Great pronunciation. Okay. Next slide. All right. Who remembers what an anusvara is? We're going back to the M's. It's a trick question because I wrote it here. Let's go through it. Anusvara is a word that means after sound, after sound. So when you see anusvara, it affects what comes before it because it's the after sound. Anu is a word that means after. And you know svara, we've had that before. It means sound or vowel or flow. So when you see an anusvara, it generally means you make what comes before it extra nasal. So you nasalize that sound. And we know we recite the vowels, and the anusvara is we say I have been taught that it's like a sound of a bee buzzing in a honey hive. So you make a buzzing sound like when you see anusvara. So that affects the vowel that comes before it. It can be any vowel. And that's why we call it after sound, because the vowel before it has an extra nasal quality. So what does it look like? We learned it in IAST as an M with a dot under it. So, Marina, if we could briefly go back to the previous slide, none of those M's have dots under them in IAST, right? So they're all normal 5th varga nasals, just plain M. Next slide again. But when you see a dot under it, an M, it's not a plain 5th varga nasal, it's anusvara. So it looks different in Devanagari, and we'll get to that in a minute. But when you see one, we have at least 2 questions. 1, how do you pronounce it? And 2, how do you transliterate it? And these are the areas where Geshe Michael in particular, because of the way he was trained, by his Sanskrit teachers, I think, is very particular about doing this correctly. All right, next slide. All right, how are we going to handle these anusvaras? So let's discuss transliteration, such as I asked. The grammar texts, different grammar books say different things. There's two ways you can do it. You can leave it as it is, an M with a dot under it, anusvara, or you can change it to the nasal sound in the same varga as the consonant that follows it. So both are correct, but Geshe definitely prefers the second option. So we will learn that method. Let's have the next slide. So how do you pronounce it? You could pronounce it like an M, but Geshe likes to pronounce the anusvara like the nasal sound that's in the varga of the consonant that comes right after the anusvara. So let's briefly review. We just learned that anusvara affects the way the vowel before it sounds, very nasal. And now we are learning that the anusvara may change, and in our tradition, it does tend to change depending on what consonant comes after it. So when you see anusvara, you have to look at the vowel before and the consonant after. So both before, what comes before it and what comes after it affect it. Let's have the next slide. All right, here's a line. It's a different line from the Bodhisattva Charyavatara. I wrote it just BCA because it's a very long name. So how many anusvaras are there in these two lines? Take a minute and count.
Only in the ma or in all of the letters?
Both of them, the whole thing.
I think 9.
9. My goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get 5. Where'd you get 9? Tell me which ones you are counting. What's the first one?
In both sentences or just the first?
Both sentences, there are 5. Yeah.
First is the first M or ma and tam.
In which word is it?
Tam.
Oh.
And then Chavalokitam, another one.
Yes.
And then na tam, another one.
Yes.
And then in the next one, Kirpa Vyakulacharinam, another one.
Yeah.
N.
Wait. Stop there. First of all, I want to compliment you. Perfect pronunciation. Secondly, I want to ask you, which letter is the M with the dot under it?
I don't know. That's what I was asking. If it's every letter or just every M with a dot.
No, that's a great question. Every anusvara is always an M sound. When we recite the vowels, we say, etc. And the last two are Anusvara always is attached to an M sound. So that in Karpavya Kulacharinam, that kr, that's a cerebral R. So that's a vocalic R. Has nothing to do with anusvara. And at the end of that word, charinam, that is a cerebral nasal. Nra. So nothing to do with Anusvara. So don't count all the letters with dots under them.
Okay.
Just count the Anusvaras, and those are always ma sound. So look for
Then
the
5.
5. Okay. Now, are there any letters that are ma that are not Anusvara?
Virau mya. Virau mya.
Yeah.
Taravam.
Yeah, there's one before that.
I don't see it before. I just see the in Virau mya. Taravam. And in mam.
Mom, right? Those are the two in that line. But if you look at Kirpa Vyakullacharinam, there's a
that is in ma. Okay.
so there's it looks like there's about 3 plain ma. All right, we're running out of time here, and I don't want to keep you guys late, but let's try the next slide. Geshe Michael always says, don't waste even 1 minute. So here they are. Tam, there's 1. Javalokitam, 2. And then I counted this twice because it has to do with what follows it. Javalokitam again in front of natam, and then natam in front of kripa, that long word. Then virau myar taravam bitaha, and mam rakshatu. Now, before we go, and we'll do more next week, just let's look at the letters that follow the Anusvara. So in the first line, what letter follows the Anusvara? Flavia, you're my go-to student today.
Cha.
Cha. What varga is cha?
Ooh.
Quick look at your charts.
It's second.
Yes, second varga. So if we were writing this in Ayast, we are going to change that ma to what letter? Second varga nasal, which is what?
No.
Ra. Right, palatal nasal. So you see how this works? We'll do more next week because it's late already. But when you have that Anusvara, the following consonant changes to the nasal in that same varga. I mean, the ma changes to the nasal in that same varga as the following consonant. So we know that the vowel preceding it in tum is becomes extra nasal, tum, 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 and the consonant following it dictates what that ma changes into. Okay? Well, let's skip to the end slide, please. We didn't do everything today, but we'll do the rest next week. One more, a couple more. Yeah. So we'll finish and review M's and N's, but you have a good taste of what's going to happen. And maybe if we have time, we'll learn a little more about R. So we'll see you next week, but I want to remind you, you still have time. Don't forget to sign up for ACI's The New Beginning, Opening the Door to the Diamond Way event. Starts tomorrow. Online registration is still available and scholarships are available. So if you want to come, you will be able to, I'm sure. And if you want to study Diamond Way with Geshe Michael in 2025, you are required to take this course and at least 3 others. Okay, Thank you for coming. Rejoice that you are studying Sanskrit, please, even for 5 seconds. And I will see you next week. Thank you.